more and more jobs are part of global supply chains now. In many ways, far more parts of most of our private sector membership actually work in one way or another with multinational companies and those supply chains. Perhaps the extreme example of this is in the garment sector and textiles area, where well-known household brands are basically selling products which are sourced in many countries in Southeast Asia. The classic example when there was the disaster of Rana Plaza, when over 1,000 workers were killed when their factory collapsed. That there were brands, there were labels in that factory which were on products which are bought and sold in OECD countries every day of the week. And yet the problem was getting those brands to accept their responsibility, that they were the employers of those workers who were killed. And just as they can say to their suppliers, we want this sort of condition with regard to the quality of the products you're making, our campaign and the Global Union campaign has been to say that you also have a responsibility to make sure those suppliers don't kill workers, the factories are safe, and actually decent working conditions are put in place. So I think some of the momentum around there is to try to make sure that something like Rana Plaza doesn't just lead to 1,000 people dying, but it changes the situation in the future. It changes the business model, it changes the concept of responsibility and human rights. And the OECD Guidelines on multinationals is another instrument that we're trying to use to make sure, since they've been reformed, that they also cover the different supply chains and the responsibility of firms along their supply chains, that creates an effective mechanism where there are consequences for companies which don't actually live up to their responsibilities.